The following video is sponsored by Cotner Funeral Home.
It seemed like Columbine all over again.
And then at 9:40 a.m., shots rang out.
Response by teachers inside the school, which is
specifically telling our affiliate that 2 students have been hit.
A sea of backpacks abandoned on the ground. Emergency vehicles.
We're preparing to go home.
I saw the shooter. I saw him.
These are the images, sounds, and reports after numerous cases of violence in schools across America. With these scenes becoming all the more common within public schools, communities are worried. Fathers, mothers, siblings, everyone knows that a normal day can change in an instant. That paranoia, fueled by the ever-growing debate around what to do about these situations politically, has swept the nation. Towns and cities, small and large, continue to beg the question, what are we doing to prevent instead of react to situations like these? A small band of the community joined together in discussing the things that Reynoldsburg is doing to help prevent any possible safety breach in the future. Along with Superintendent Melvin Brown and Acting Police Chief William Early, Safety Director Nick Keisel gave an informative look into everything the school district is doing to maintain the level of safety Reynoldsburg City Schools are known for. What it all boiled down to was a cliche that many take for granted. See something, say something. That was one of the biggest takeaways from the many representatives that spoke at the meeting, and that very message remains to be a large objective in the battle of safety in Reynoldsburg City Schools.
The idea of bystander reporting, that's what that is. All too often, bystanders might look at a situation and say, that doesn't feel right, someone else will call. We need to break down that mentality and understand that you need to call. If you see it, you need to call.
And it is extremely basic. And I know that sometimes these catchphrases get overused and people don't pay attention to them, but it's about bystander reporting. It's about just the regular everyday person understanding that safety is my responsibility. It's not just me, it's you, it's every single student in the school, it's every parent that's out at home. So safety is everybody's responsibility. And if we can instill in them the responsibility or the feeling of I need to report, any suspicious activity that I see or any text message or social media post, then obviously our eyes are then tripled, doubled, quadrupled to where we are now as a community coming together to make sure that our schools are safe. And it doesn't just rely on the safety people or the principals or, myself. So, the see something, say something is easy and it's simple, but in principle, in actually executing it, I think that we just need to communicate the message of do it. Yes, you're a bystander, but don't rely on someone else to see it. Even if, say, a social media post comes out and there's 5 comments below, you be the one to call in to report it. Don't wait for someone else to do it. So,
despite Director Kiesel's outstanding background in security and safety, he can't do it alone. He was quick to point out the power of having individual staff placed in buildings during school hours. Staff that not only protects, but connects with the students to reinforce the fact that they can make a huge difference in violent crime prevention.
These are 8 safety specialists that have a whole lot of experience, some of them former law enforcement, that are in our schools every single day, all the time. From the Wagner campuses to an elementary school patrol to 2 in each high school, all these guys do is safety and security. So that's all they're worried about all day long.
They're absolutely crucial to this district. Those are the guys with boots on the ground. So, I sit in central office and I manage them. But they're the ones who have been in our schools for many years, some of them with 20 plus years experience working security in school districts. Some of them retired from local law enforcement in the area, some of them former state troopers. So their experience and them being able to devote their entire time and effort into a single building to get to know the kids, to build those relationships. So they're not assigned to a classroom to speak, so they're able to be in the hallways, to constantly monitor, to remain vigilant at all times. So they're absolutely crucial, and I couldn't ask for a better team.
Those 2 ideas are philosophies that Director Keisel takes very seriously. See something, say something, and give students attending Reynoldsburg the mindset which allows them to do that as much as possible. The city also does amazing things in terms of safety, like partnering with local police and national safety departments. Administrators at Reynoldsburg constantly throw funding and ideas to help school safety in the fullest degree. But just like Director Keisel, they can't do it alone either. So in this same meeting, the community broke off into groups and brainstormed some possible safety threats and ways to improve on these threats. Social media, student mental health, and boundary improvements were just some of the things these groups came up with.
Not always as aware of what sites the kids are using
And even if they're aware of the sites or the apps, they don't really have a great understanding of what those sites can do or can open up for their kids. So we talked about possible solutions of asking people either within the district or within parent groups to do some educating of parents to talk about what sites do they see the kids on, talking about what they consist of. We talked about catching parents at times when they're at events already, like sporting events, or at school events like plays or things where we talk about the idea that after elementary school, attendance at PTOs and things dissipates, and so you have to catch parents when they're already in the building for something fun and exciting, and then you have to get them educated about some things.
So the first topic at hand they wanted to bring up was threatening behavior. That was a topic of concern at our table. In terms of social media, which we already talked about, how do you report a bad text, a bad video, something? How does a parent report? How does a child report that? So does it go to the principal or the school teacher? Who does that go to? And then what kind of follow-up is there? Who follows up and when?
Lastly, Director Keisel mentioned the fact that informing students and talking about these challenges with them might be conversations we don't want to have, but they are nonetheless ones we need to have.
I think that we're evolving in that regard. I think that probably 10 years ago, despite the fact of Columbine occurring and other incidents like that it was a mentality of we don't want to scare kids. I think that we're evolving beyond that. And I think now, and I know now, especially in our district, we're teaching our kids what to do. And we're having these discussions, and we have to. And it's unfortunate. I wish that they didn't need me. I wish that a director of safety and security or safety people in schools or police officers were not needed. But that's not the world we live in. And so the reality is that these events are possible and they are occurring. So we have to have those discussions. We have to tell the kids in these certain circumstances, this is what you need to do. And so unfortunately, it's a critical element of our society nowadays.
Superintendent Melvin Brown cited the great progress made yesterday and mentioned the work Reynoldsburg does to keep its students safe.
And as I said earlier, I've worked in 6 other school districts, and I have never seen the level of security in the district that we have here, and yet we continue to try to improve it and enhance it. Your input is greatly appreciated in that respect.
It's clear the passion of Reynoldsburg for keeping students safe always was and always will be a priority. No matter the person, job title, or political alliance, safety is something the community takes to heart. It's something they're willing to work on even after it's considered almost perfect. This, in many ways, represents the willingness of Reynoldsburg residents to work together on any occasion, not just school safety. That drive to work together as a community is the same drive that produces success in many other categories, and that ability to join together for a common cause is one of Reynoldsburg's strong suits. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and check in for content uploaded weekly.